Hey all, and welcome back to another Nori Toy review. Today we've got Autobot Prowl. Now, I'm no longer collecting the entire set when it comes to any of the waves. I got all of the Superion. I wasn't filling the Menasor, and so now what I'm really doing, I have the Defensor torso, but I'm not going to get all the limbs because I don't like, especially on the legs, how they all look. So I might get Rook, I might get the remold that this was from, and I might get another bot or even two helicopters. I'm trying to just come up with combiners I like because I like fiddling with these more than my third party, and I'm still going to collect third party figures even though these are out. So let's go ahead and get this guy open and see what he's like. Alright, now we put him on the box and went ahead and put him in car mode. So I really like this metallic blue that they use for the windshields. I think that's a nice touch, rather than trying to use partially clear or some other colors. And he has a few ports. He has one on each side of the door. So I guess this is sort of like a muffler gun thing. And then you can put the hand on top. But honestly, he looks a lot better just without any of the weapons on there. I wish there was maybe some under storage or something, but I think it works pretty well for a car mode. And it comes with a comic with a special cover, which is a nice little addition, but I'm fine with the card since I collect the comics anyway. Let's move these out of the way. Now, what I'll start with first is combiner modes before I go to robot mode, because it's just going to be easier that way. Now I have Defensor here with the Aerobots for limbs. And what I'm going to show first is an arm mode. And they show him as a leg primarily, but he is capable of being an arm. And all you do, you just move the windshield back, and you fold the hood forward. Now what's tricky, this single joint right here versus the rest of them is really stiff. And so I would suggest pushing from the gray plastic so you don't put any stress on it. Then you've got the port here, pops out. The exhaust or the tailpipe will act as the port for the foot. Now you can use the foot that comes with it. But I've got the aftermarket ones that I think I prefer. I do like that they're painting on silver now, with the gray plastic as well. Kind of makes them a little more interesting. So throw that to the side. Go ahead and pop his leg off. I should have done a review of this Defensor. He's a really neat figure, except they didn't do the best job on the mechanism that's in the legs, but I fiddled with it and got it to work a little bit better. So go ahead and pop that off, pop on the new foot. Well, that's strange. It does not seem to connect. Now this one does. But rather than relying on this smaller peg, it's relying on this larger part. So let's see if this larger section here will fit inside. And of course, since these have tilt, they're a little trickier because you have to put some support behind it. I'll lay him down here. Huh. It is not deep enough. So, well, there you go. These feet are not going to work with him as a leg, which is a little disappointing. It makes me wonder if Perfect Effect is aware of that and will be designing around this figure when they put the limbs on it. They might assume that it's the exact same. But mine, at least, does not fit, so you've got to use this foot. Which does shorten them just a little bit. Well, anyway, hopefully Perfect Effect does something like that, or maybe I can modify mine to fit better. But there he is as a leg. I think it's a decent leg. It's a little thin from the side, but what I don't care for is when you have Ironhead as the other leg, and he has more of a kneecap protection here, and this one just drops down. I think a little bit of symmetry, even if they're not exactly the same design, just the way they form, I think is essential for the looks I'm wanting to go for. So I'll go ahead, put this back on as a leg, and I'll show you guys the arm mode. Alright, so got that secure. Alright. So, there we got defensor standing correctly again. And for leg mode, or for arm mode, what I did, so pull these up, actually, it was kind of simple. Just fold these out, and then fold down. Flip this port. I do like how this port flips over. And then you just get the knees rotated like they would be for robot mode. And let's see, snaps together. Now, and then just rotate the waist. I would assume that this would have been on the outside, but if you want the double jointed elbow, you're going to have this colored section on the outside. So we've got that. And I'm pretty sure of it that this won't fit, but for the sake of testing, yep. So it's confirmed, perfect effect. Hands also will not fit. So we'll go ahead and pop these out, give them to hand mode. And I think that's a nicer looking hand than what we've had with just a solid one color. And get them pegged in, which there is no, it has to go in a bit deeper, I feel like, than some of the others. So get it rotated that way because, or actually, yeah, this way's fine. So we've got his arm. Pop this arm off. Alright. And there he is as an arm. Well, right, like I said earlier, that needed to be backwards. There we go. And that's how you get the double jointed elbow and a little bit more range of movement. So he's not bad as an arm. I think he makes a better leg, but I think he can work depending on maybe the opposite configurations. So I'll go ahead and set this guy to the side. Pop him off. And we're already partway to robot mode. So as you saw, transforming from vehicle to limb is a large part of what's going to be to make him a robot. Alright, so one thing that's interesting is they've got ridges inside the arm here that makes it more like a ratchet. So his hands will stick out and they need a little bit of force to pull out. It's an interesting design choice. Hopefully it didn't reduce any of the other engineering. Fold his elbows. He does have those weird new type of hinge elbows they're doing. It would have been nicer to be in the center, but it's not the end, especially since he still retains a bicep swivel, which is nice, and a little bit of shoulder range of movement as well. So pop these open, rotate the waist, there's the legs. Now one thing about these legs, I do feel like they appear a little short, and that's only because they don't have protruding feet, and it just feels a little stumpy. I think if this could come out a few more millimeters, something where it felt a little bit more like a foot, it'd be better. And then for the head, that piece of plastic here that I mentioned that was a little tricky, you've got to get that folded back. And one thing about this design that I like versus a lot of the others is the chest cover, to cover up the port. So we get that folded over, clips in, and you still see the port as abs, but it's not as bad. And what would be interesting is to see this retooled as a huffer or something. I mean, it'd be a lot of retooling, but the fact that you could have the canopy over the head, I think there might be something there to that. Of course, this whole back section has to be redesigned, but might be a good donor for a custom. And so you just fold this backpack back. He's got the wide stance legs already built in. Get his gun here. Alright. And he's a really good looking robot. Go ahead and zoom in on him so you guys can get a better look at him. But from a design mode, I like it. I had the Generations Prowl, and that was actually a figure I'd regretted purchasing right away. And recently I had sold him. I just didn't like the overall aesthetic to it, even though it had some better engineering than this figure. But this has a really nice head sculpt. Get in here so you guys can see it. Some clever things with the chest. Okay arm mode, pretty decent leg mode. Great looking alt mode. So overall, I think it's a good figure from the line, especially if you're wanting to mix and match. Now, the only reason I've considered getting all of the Autobot limbs that were from this wave was for the sort of a graphic design idea was a CMYK bot. So you had the red or the cyan, blue, yellow, and black, and you could have kind of a cool little robot just for that scheme. But of course, they would have nothing to do with Transformers or anything. So anyway, leave some comments what you guys think, some other bots you might want to check out, and what you guys think about this. And stay tuned for future reviews, and we'll be back with more. So take care. See you guys next time.